Idealization and devaluation cycles. One of the most common and painful dynamics in relationships with individuals who exhibit cluster B traits is the cycle of idealization and devaluation. These cycles involve extreme emotional swings, where the person moves from putting their partner or friend on a pedestal, idealization, to tearing them down or dismissing their worth entirely, devaluation. This creates an intense push-pull effect, which can leave those on the receiving end feeling confused, emotionally drained, and insecure. What it is: a repeating pattern where someone initially views their partner or friend as perfect, wonderful, or without fault, idealization, only to later swing to the opposite extreme, seeing them as deeply flawed, worthless, or even harmful, devaluation. This cycle can happen rapidly or over time, and it may repeat endlessly in relationships. What it isn't: normal ups and downs in relationships. In healthy relationships, people acknowledge their partner's strengths and flaws without swinging to extremes. The idealization and devaluation cycle is marked by intense, black and white thinking with little room for nuance or balance. Why people engage in idealization and devaluation cycles. The cycle of idealization and devaluation often stems from issues with self-worth, fear of abandonment, and emotional instability. When someone with cluster B traits idealizes you, they see you as the answer to all their emotional needs. When those unrealistic expectations aren't met, they devalue you as a form of self-protection. Here's how these cycles manifest across different disorders. IDD, Impulsive Disregard Disorder, or ASPD. In individuals with IDD, idealization may occur when someone is useful to them, offering resources, status, or something they desire. They may temporarily view this person as invaluable. However, once the person is no longer useful or fails to meet their needs, they are quickly devalued and discarded. For people with IDD, idealization and devaluation are often transactional, driven by a focus on what they can gain rather than any deep emotional attachment. ESFD, Extreme Self-Focus Disorder, or NPD. Idealization in ESFD tends to be self-serving. They may idealize people who praise or admire them, seeing them as extensions of their own greatness. When the admiration falters or the person offers criticism, they are quickly devalued and dismissed as inferior. The cycle is driven by a fragile ego that relies on constant validation. Anyone who challenges their grandiose self-image is no longer useful and must be devalued to protect their inflated sense of self. IED, Emotional Intensity Disorder, or BPD. Idealization and devaluation cycles are particularly pronounced in EID. When someone with EID idealizes you, they may see you as perfect, the answer to their deep emotional needs. But because their emotions are so unstable, any perceived slight, no matter how minor, can lead to immediate devaluation. This can happen overnight, leaving the partner feeling blindsided. The cycle is driven by their intense fear of abandonment and unstable self-image. They often feel betrayed or let down when their unrealistic expectations aren't met, leading to rapid devaluation. DASD, or Dramatic Attention-Seeking Disorder, HPD. In DASD, idealization occurs when someone provides attention or admiration, placing the person at the center of their emotional world. But as soon as the attention shifts away, or someone else enters the picture, the person may be devalued for no longer providing the spotlight. Their idealization is often performative, and their devaluation may occur when they feel ignored, overlooked, or outshone by someone else. They seek out relationships that keep them in the center of attention, and once that focus fades, so does their appreciation for that person. The impact of idealization and devaluation cycles. These cycles can be incredibly harmful to relationships, as the person on the receiving end often feels like they're constantly walking on a tightrope. One day they're praised and adored, and the next they're criticized and belittled. This emotional whiplash can create anxiety, insecurity, and a deep sense of confusion. People often feel as though they're constantly trying to meet impossible standards or win back the approval they once had. For the person engaging in these cycles, the constant shift between idealization and devaluation is exhausting and emotionally taxing. They may not fully understand why their feelings change so drastically, or why they can't seem to maintain a balanced view of others. Their black and white thinking leaves little room for the complexity of human relationships, and as a result, they may cycle through relationships rapidly, leaving a trail of emotional destruction. Protecting yourself. Recognizing the pattern of idealization and devaluation is the first step in protecting yourself from its harmful effects. It's important to understand that these shifts in perception are not about you. They're about the other person's emotional instability. Setting boundaries about how you will allow yourself to be treated and recognizing when you're being placed in an idealized or devalued position can help you maintain your own emotional stability. Ultimately, people stuck in these cycles need to address their internal struggles through therapy or self-work, and no amount of reassurance or effort on your part can fix this dynamic.